Hey, everybody. We are live. Welcome, welcome.
What's happening? What's happening?
Huzzah. Every time
Hi.
I love AVA. Every time. Huzzah. Uh, yeah. Musi is okay. So for people who know that her situation, she's good.
If you know, you know.
hmm
Yes, yes.
Oh, there's AVA.
Ava!
What's happening, Captain?
First.
That's only because I'm not in the chat. I'm in the stream.
What's that?
Me and AVA are always fighting for first place in the chat.
Technically, we are first, all three of us.
Technically.
Technically. Technically.
Oh man, my phone's in the bedroom.
I was
Every
having
time
fun trolling today.
I bet you were.
I
Hi, Chris.
Did you see these illegals who were mad that they were getting deported and they were screaming at the camera?
Oh yeah, they are hauling them out by the hundreds, boy. I think they said the last one I watched said from all over the country there is. It's not on my end.
I'm not
It's
hearing it. Well, hold on. It could be me. Hold on.
It's always you. Hi,
Is
everybody.
that better? Or is it still echoing?
Probably. Actually, that's so much better.
It's these because there is a thing here, a microphone here. So it
That
switches to.
reverb.
Yeah, it's stupid.
hello.
Happy birthday, Max Lab.
Hello.
And he'd like everyone to donate $5 to Uncle Frank's fundraiser. Thank you. I do appreciate that, Max Lab. And I know Uncle Frank's family will appreciate it as well.
Max.
Laugh.
See, now Coop's just being a smartass.
Oh, I gotta pull up Rumble so I can see the Rumble chat.
The rumble.
Suzanne, we see you.
My Susie. My native.
Oh my goodness. Ugh. Man, I'm telling you, these. Whoa, what was that?
That echo.
Was it
It's
Jesus?
back.
Do I have something playing? No.
The echo's back.
Hello.
Hmm.
Yeah, now it's gone. Whoop.
Is it back?
Hello. This is
How
fun.
about that?
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
We're in a Verizon commercial chat. That's so
Man.
much better.
This now there it goes again.
It's Coop.
It is not me.
It's definitely you.
There's no possible way it can be me. I don't have anything open except just Restream.
I don't know.
I'm not hearing it at all.
Of course not, because it's coming from your end. There it is. It's back.
So it's not me.
It keeps switching back to his mic on his headphones.
Right.
No, it hasn't. This would be the headset. How's that
Boo.
sound?
Hey, fine right now. I'm scared to say anything now.
Suzanne said, living in San Diego, she welcomes the change. Come here legally without a record. Jesus.
Right on. Well, I'll tell you straight up. I love diversity. I love everybody that comes here legally, as long as they come here legally. That's just bottom line.
Well, you know, they say diversity is our greatest strength.
Right. Now, I love it. I love being able to talk to people of all different nationalities, but come here the right way. And I don't want my tax dollars paying for your livelihood.
I was trolling all the people today they were all mad about the raids and the deportations, and I was saying, well, maybe next time you'll remember to illegally vote.
See if we can't work on that.
You're bad.
Mikey, you remember the night when I was talking about my buddy Sean that has the Paracord website?
Mhm.
Okay, I forgot to tell you, and I forgot all about this till after we were done talking about it. His wife works for the FBI. She's a CSI investigator.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I got to talking to him one night about what she does for a living. She's the one that goes out and
Crazy.
takes
I got a
pictures
list I wanna
and
send her.
huh?
I got a list I should send her.
No, but she's the one that actually takes pictures and collects evidence, is what she does. I thought that was always fascinating.
Mussy, I hope you're feeling better. I see you're in the chat.
Oh, she here? Hey, Muzzy, what's happening, girl? Well, we are echoing like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, we are. That's about right for my stream, though.
Let's see if that fixes it.
What are we? Oh, wait a minute.
I'm the same way. Come here legally. I'm fine with it.
Well,
Come
see,
here legally.
my sister's kids, they're mixed, right? Spanish or Mexican and American, and they've all married Mexican people, you know, and I don't have a freaking problem with none of them. Some of those girls are some of the sweetest people, and the guys are just awesome. But come here legally. Bullshit.
Hey, you should show the chat the younger you.
Oh, I can. Do you guys want to see a young skipper way before he was ever a skipper, when he was just a Lance coconut? Hold on here.
No TV going.
Native, it's Mike's. It's Mike's setup over there.
There we go, folks. That was. Why is this doing this? I wish it would stay like that.
Whose feet is that to the left?
See, Georgie's going straight for the feet. She loves the feet.
No. It's
is
just there. They're just there.
Oh, this guy's feet?
Yeah.
A
little creepy.
If that's who I think it is, it's a Marine that I knew who had it was hilarious because Marines, we always call everyone by their last names. His last name was Wigger.
Well, it's better than the girl that was on the ship with Squid. Her last name was Spitz.
See, look at there. You got free foot porn tonight. You didn't even have to pay for it, Georgie.
Not me, Slug. Slug's the one always talking about crunchy toes.
Skipper looks like he would collect left shoes back in the day. What this was field day haircuts. We would, my one buddy here, he could cut hair, and we'd all line up and get our hair cut. Look, old camis. Those stopped being used.
That's totally what the women in the chat are looking at. Is the pants.
Well, they're not sweatpants, so you're not going to get a view.
They switched over to the new camo style in what, the mid 90s or so?
No, it was 2002.
Really?
Uh,
That far out. Wow.
yeah, I graduated boot camp in March, and by June, July, they were issuing them in boot camp. So I missed it by
Wow.
only a few months. Yeah, Georgie's all about those feet, man.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I gotta get me a gamer chair.
I've got to learn that when we're on here like this and I don't have to worry about anybody seeing me, I can actually recline back. And that way it takes pressure off my back. I'm just so used to with Georgie sitting straight up. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now I can just lean back, relax.
Lean back. I saw someone's post today. It was like, my daughter, Daddy, can you help me solve for X? And he's like, that's why you're bad at math, because X gonna give it to you. And she's like, what? And he goes, no wonder why you're failing.
Hey, Suzanne sent you her pic from when she was
Yeah,
in the Marines.
Oh, there we
beautiful.
go. Do you want us to put this up or no? Because if you say no, I won't put it up. She's in her Bravos.
Oh, they letting you out of the hospital tomorrow, Muzzy?
That's why I don't go to the doctor. I don't think they'd let me go.
We were talking about that on the stream today. Or was that yesterday?
She
I
said
can't.
you can post it.
Okay. Boom, boom. There we go.
Hi,
And now
Robert.
a very young Suzanne. Look at her with all that hope in her eyes.
Her so
They're
pretty.
they're changing the Bravos up a little bit nowadays. He's
Holy
got a
cow. That was a 2 years before I graduated high school.
1984.
Yep, I graduated in 86.
and this is her with Captain Stuving from the SS Love Boat.
I wasn't even thought of then.
Love, exciting and new.
Matter of fact, that's the year my first wife graduated high school was in 84.
We're expecting you. And love's sweet as
Yes,
sweet.
Suzanne, it was a very, very, very long time ago.
Let it flow. It comes back to you. I watched all those shows in the 70s and 80s.
But I'll tell you now, though, if I had any period in time I could go back, it would be the 80s.
Right? All this nostalgia for the 90s. And I'm like, yeah, the 90s were weak. The 80s were much better.
I mean, the 80s, man, it was a mixture of everything. But just look at all the new stuff, especially music that was
Yeah.
created, the new genres that came out in the 80s, like rap and, techno pop. And there was a lot of firsts in the 80s.
Beastie Boys.
Yep. Mark Wahlberg. I actually like him as an actor. I think he does a good job.
Georgie, did you like Three's Company?
She probably don't know who that is.
Yes, I do.
Okay, what was his name?
God, I haven't watched it in forever.
The actor's name was Jack Ritter.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry,
For
John
some
Ritter.
reason,
But
for some reason, I was gonna say Ripper.
his character was Jack Tripper.
Right.
That's why I got him confused.
That's why I was trying to say Ripper.
Oh hell, we had Happy Days.
That is new. What did you say? Hers and his, three's company too.
Yeah. Laverne and Shirley.
Mm.
Oh, we can't forget Roseanne. I think Roseanne came into the 80s, didn't she? Or was it the early 90s?
88 or 89 is where it came. That Roseanne and Married with Children were like right there, and then went into the 90s. Um, I'm trying to think. I had fun doing that the other night when we were talking about all those shows.
Yep, Chico and the Man.
Uh, yeah, someone said WKRP, and I remember like I don't remember when it was on, but I remember coming home from school and it was on in syndication, and it would be on like after school.
Oh, and who remembers MTV when it actually was about music?
I remember there was a show called Yo MTV Raps. And it was hosted by Dr. Dre, and I forget the other guy's name. While the boomers talk boomer era. It's the 80s. I'm a Gen X.
I wasn't even a nut in my daddy's sack yet.
I'm a Gen X. I'm not a boomer.
Exactly.
Close
I'm
enough.
pretty sure Coop's a Gen Xer too.
I am.
There
Close
you go.
enough.
My mom and dad were boomers.
Yeah, so were my parents. Yeah, I remember. I don't remember when MTV came out, but I remember it being huge. Like by '84, it was like the biggest thing ever. Like
Oh,
all the kids had MTV on.
oh yeah. They were screaming at mom and dad wanting cable because cable was
Yep.
fairly new in the 80s. That's how we sold my dad on getting cable because he could watch his wrestling then. And we got to watch the MTV and all the good stuff.
I don't really understand people who announce everything on social media. Going to the store, it's like, okay. Like, I don't think the people on Twitter need to know that you're going to be visiting Aunt May for the next couple days.
80s had a lot of good stuff.
They had. I still love '80s movies. Like they would make stuff, and it was like I look back at it now, and I'm like, oh my god! Like for the youngins like Georgie, they made a movie about arm wrestling.
Yep.
And you know what they did? They arm wrestled for custody of a child.
Yep. Stallone over the top.
I do remember Eddie Murphy still being on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
I
Mr.
do
Robinson.
Yep.
You remember
Yep.
Mr. Robinson?
And Doug and Wendy Weiner.
He was a drug addicted Mr. Rogers. Mr. Robertson. That's when James Belushi was still alive.
Yeah. He was the first of the original cast members to come back after they had all left.
Right. That's back when it was Belushi, uh, Chevy Chase, Aykroyd.
After all them left, he came back for one show, and he only did a couple things, but he came back for one show. I remember when they shot Buckwheat.
Yep. That's what I'm, some of the stuff that came out in the 80s, they would just be calling people racist as hell nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy literally put out a whole buckwheat album.
Remember when they had Jesse Jackson? He called New York City Jaime Town.
Oh, God.
Of all the Jews. So Eddie Murphy was Jesse Jackson, but he was doing like a Motown thing, and he's singing this song. He's like, "Don't bring me down, I'm a town."
Eddie Murphy was back then, he was the raciest comedian
Oh yeah,
out there. I mean, he was on the cutting edge, and I mean, he was doing stuff that made Richard Pryor blush. And Richard Pryor was nasty. So was Red Skeleton.
They had some funny stuff.
Did Muzzy ever say they were letting her out of jail tomorrow to go home? I must have missed it.
Don't advertise it. People start calling.
Oh my God, Eddie Murphy Raw. Yep. If I dig through my old VHS, I bet you I still got that.
I watched the Richard Pryor movie Bustin' Loose like a month or two ago, and I forgot that Paul Mooney was in the beginning of it. Red Fox, you big dummy.
Yep.
Do you know who my first comedian I ever saw and in person, and it was also my first Vegas show? It was Don Rickles.
He was funny.
Oh my God. But my side hurt leaving that show.
I was watching some old stuff where they were filming Mama. Remember the TV show Mama's Family?
Oh yeah.
Where it had Rickles and all of them. And he went off on this one skit, and not one of them could keep a straight face. He went off script and was ad-libbing the whole thing about an elephant. It was classic.
Oh, that was Tim Conway.
Yeah, Tim Conway.
I know exactly what yeah, that was Conway. Oh my God, he was funny too. He was.
Could you just imagine the control that those comedians had to have filming live TV like that?
Oh yeah. And Harvey Korman used to get mad at Tim Conway because he would get him laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Tim Conway as the dentist and Harvey Korman's the patient, and he accidentally pokes himself with the Novocaine, and he's trying to get his hands?
There was a lot of good stuff back then. A lot of good stuff. And Die Hard came out, I think, in 89. I know it was the late 80s. You had Lethal Weapon came out.
They're making another one.
Yeah, I saw that. That's going to be interesting because old Mel Gibson and Glover are both way up there in age now compared to the very first Weapon.
Gibson is going to direct.
Who's directing it?
Mel Gibson.
Oh, Mel Gibson is?
Yep. the guy who wrote all those scripts, he was dying. I watched a interview with Gibson, and he said, yeah, he was dying, and he said, I'm going to get this script done, and you're going to be the one to make it. And I said, I can't be the one to make it. And he goes, nope. The guy got it about 80% done, and yeah, told his family, no, Mel's the only one who's going to be able to finish this. And Mel and some other guy, they finished writing it, and they're going to make it.
One of the funniest parts is when Glover was on the toilet and the toilet was rigged to blow.
Yeah, that one was good.
Oh my God, Green Acres. I forgot about that show. Webster. Yeah.
I was never into Webster.
Yeah, Susan. 1977. I'm pretty sure 77 was Star Wars was released because I was 10 years old when it came out.
If Disney's lost so much money on Star Wars, but if they want to really make a lot of money, here's what they should do. Re-release the original 1977 cut of Star Wars. Just re-release it in theaters. I guarantee you, people, I would pay to go see it again.
Oh, that's my sleeping medicine right there. I've got the whole collection on DVD, and if I can't sleep, I'll pop in A New Hope, and 20 minutes later, I'm out like a light. I've watched the movie so much, it puts me to ease. Petticoat Junction. I remember that too.
I never watched that. They had the reruns. I did watch the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the Brady Bunch was
Yeah.
a very well written show.
Yeah. Yeah, you had the Brady Bunch, and what was the other one with all the kids that were musicians?
Partridge Family.
Partridge Family.
What's his name just died? David Cassidy.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Georgie has no clue who it is.
She fall asleep over there.
She was probably a Danny Bonaducci fan. What do you think?
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I did find something interesting.
Ooh, what? Something we can share with the group?
Well, I wouldn't be trying to share it if it wasn't.
It's smart. Good show. What is it?
Look,
Oh,
it's a news article.
I don't have anything from you. Is it in private chat? No?
Screen share.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm looking all over.
And I'm the problem.
Yep, Hogan's Heroes. That was a good one. And so was MASH, the Little Rascals.
He's ending his and Fauci's security.
I guess so. It says he's extraditing. The first one I saw said Vladimir Putin is seeking to have Anthony extradited to Russia to face COVID era crimes against humanity charges as part of a deal to end the war in Ukraine. And then I Googled it, and this is what I found.
That would be
Thanks
interesting.
on TikTok.
Dark Shadows. Now that's a show that every time they try to redo it, it kind of gets doomed. And they did the movie, which was pretty good. But I liked the 90s reboot. I never watched the 60s, but I understand it was really good. But why don't they do shows like that more, you know?
I have Dukes of Hazzard. There you go, Columbo. I got a question for you, Mikey. You got your echo cancellation and your noise suppression turned on?
I'll take a look here. Yeah. Yep,
Oh,
they're on.
okay. Okay.
McMillan with these suck, but I broke my other one, so I got to get a new headset. So this could be where the echo's coming from.
See, when you talk, it doesn't echo. But we're good. We're good.
It's got my microphone way up. Emergency. I never watched that. Hawaii Five O. I never watched. I did watch Quantum Leap. I really enjoyed that. I did, Nick at Night. I did watch Car 54. Where are you?
I started watching the reboot Quantum Leap, and I don't really care for that show.
You know, when they do some of these reboots, they're just not as good.
Yeah, I'd say they're lucky if they get 1 out of 10 that somebody actually enjoy. Most of them suck.
Let's see if this TikTok comes up for me. Let's play it here.
Oh, and I know everybody watched Magnum PI.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually surprised I haven't seen Magnum PI come up on the screen yet.
This is a big deal. It's hard for them to raid a uh, attorney's office because attorney-client privilege is so big. But if they have proof of a crime, they can.
Whose attorney was it?
It's just a it's just a the top attorney in Providence, Rhode Island.
Hey, Erica, how you doing tonight, girlie?
Oh, there's Miss Yoda. Oh, some people are just blowing me up tonight.
Erica! For once, it's not me
What's that?
blowing him up. Usually I'm blowing his phone up with reels.
Oh, Batman and Robin and Superman. No, those are old. Those are old.
Huh? What,
Right,
Dwayne?
Native Pride. Huh?
I loved the TV show The Incredible Hulk.
David
love it.
Banner. David Banner. That
And
was
then-
Lou. That was Lou Ferrigno, wasn't it?
Yep, Lou Ferrigno, and I'll think of his name. Died of cancer. Oh, what was his name? I can see his face. But that show got canceled, and it had decent ratings, but they had put it in different places. But then they brought it back with 3 different made-for-TV movies. They did The Return of the Incredible Hulk, which, if I remember correctly, it had Thor in it. First time Thor was ever on screen. They did The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, where Daredevil was in it, and they did The Death of the Incredible Hulk, and I forget who was in Bill Bixby. Thank you. And I forget who was in The Death of the Incredible Hulk, but they were going to do one more, and it would have been so awesome because they had the plan to bring the cast from, remember the TV show Spider-Man from the late 70s? They were going to bring them in and have a Incredible Hulk Spider-Man crossover, but it never happened.
I don't think I ever saw the ones you just named off. I watched
Yeah,
the original. You talking about movies?
They were made for TV movies.
Oh, I'll have to hunt those down. Now I don't remember Mr. Eddie's father.
The Courtship of Eddie's Father. I know what it is, but I never really watched it. We watched a lot of Dennis the Menace, the old 50s Dennis the Menace. I should show those to my son. I showed him the Three Stooges, and he loved them.
Oh my God. How many hours were children locked at their grandparents' house being made to watch Days of Your Life?
Yes.
I've never.
As the world turns.
That's where my mom sent us for punishment.
And
I think my mom watched it. I think it was called Santa Barbara. I think that's.
Oh, here's you one. Dallas.
oh
Who
God.
shot JR?
Loved it.
That was a huge show.
And Larry Hagen, who was the star that was not supposed to be the star, he was just so good that he became the star.
Now, what he was in I Dream of Jeannie too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Not the original guy. He's the one that they did the most shows with. The original I Dream of Jeannie, and then they put him in there for some reason.
did they switch with I? Because I know they switched with Bewitched.
It might have been Bewitched. Yeah. Bewitched had a different guy. Okay.
What?
Yeah, he
No,
was I Dream of Jeannie.
you know, some of these shows they could, you know, like reboot. Like, you know, you have the core stuff because the writing sucks today. A lot of these people, you know, that write for these shows, they just don't know what the hell they're doing.
I did like the reboot of Battlestar Galactica. I did like that.
I didn't watch Perry Mason. I do remember watching Ironsides, which I thought was weird. A private detective in a wheelchair.
Yeah, Columbo was good too.
You know, I used to love when they would like there were all these people who were like TV character actors who would just come on these shows like
Young and the Restless.
Larry Storch from F Troop.
Yep, Flipper was good. Matlock. Yep.
Mannix was a good one. I did enjoy Mannix.
Rockford
Watch that.
Files.
Young and
I
the
used to watch
Restless. General Hospital. Bold and the Beautiful.
Kojak. Yeah, I never got into Kojak, but my mom loved it. I loved the Rockford Files.
Right. That old gold Camaro that he drove.
Yep. That was such a good show, and he was a really likable actor. James Garner.
Yeah, I really liked him in the Maverick movie that he did with Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm. The A-Team. Yeah, I did enjoy the A-Team.
Airwolf, that was good. Boy, did you see how the lead character turned out in the end before he passed away? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
After Airwolf died, was canceled, his career, I guess, pretty much plummeted.
Oh yeah, and he got into drugs, and then he got cancer, and yeah, he what was his name?
I can't even remember his name.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Yep. What did Bruce Boxleitner play in?
Ooh.
I know it was a popular show back then. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, this was him before he died.
He was rough.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was in school, a lot of the girls had crushes on him.
Oh, this one here. Hold on. Yeah. I remember I was on my way to Afghanistan when Corey Haim died.
Wow.
hmm I remember we were in Germany. Was it Berlin? We were sitting at the airport, and yeah, one of the majors came over and was like, "Oh my God, Corey Haim died."
One of the original Goonies. Wrong room.
I used to love whenever people would do Charles Bronson stuff. Hey, Charles Bronson. I need to do. I should do more Charles Bronson on the show.
Ponderosa. Now that's an oldie.
My
I think
hometown had a bar named the Ponderosa.
they used to have restaurants named the Ponderosa. Steakhouses.
They did. They did. There was a steakhouse and buffet.
Yep.
We had one up here up until about 12 years ago.
Yep. Old Night Rider.
Oh, I got to start doing more of these characters. Dude, Charles Bronson, don't mess with me, punk. Or Burt Lancaster. Remember Burt Lancaster. Now, Coop, I'm gonna have you come on my show, and we're gonna talk about some things.
Dude, Jesus.
I never got into Beretta. It blew my mind that Robert Blake was one of the original. Um, what were the kids? The with Buckwheat and Darla, our gang, but they also called them what was
Little
that?
Rascal.
Little Rascals. Yeah.
Yep. It is definitely your headset, Mikey. Because the closer you get to the screen, the more it echoes.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Maybe that. Do you guys remember the Kenny Rogers movie Six Pack? It was a
Yep.
made-for-TV movie.
Yep.
He's a NASCAR driver.
Them kids stole the tires off his NASCAR.
Yep. Yeah. And a couple of those kids went on to be bigger actors.
Yep. Oh, what was that movie that Luke Skywalker, what is his name? Hamill?
Are you talking about Corvette Summer?
Yep.
See,
every guy wanted that Corvette.
right? Oh my God.
That thing was gorgeous.
Gilligan's Island. I loved watching Gilligan's Island.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I think of when we call you Skipper.
Now, I talked about Three's Company, but do you guys remember the spinoff, The Ropers,
Yep.
with Jeffrey Tambor?
Oh, and we can't forget our favorite, The Gong Show. Hee Haw. Yeah, we definitely had to watch Hee Haw because
Mr. Ed.
yeah, that was cool.
The Air Force in North Dakota changed the name of their DEI program to circumvent the Trump's executive order. It's now Organizational Culture Office, OCO.
Bless their hearts.
right?
So what do you guys think about they're going to bring all of the military personnel that want to come back that had to leave the military because they didn't take the shot, and they're going to retro pay them all the way back?
I mean, there's good and bad things about that. There is good and bad things about that. But yeah, the retro pay, it's going to cost a pretty penny.
Well, they were basically forced out. If you don't take it, you're out.
Warriors, come out and play.
I remember that. I just seen the other day where they had them, took a picture of them today in the same vests, but in 2025.
And James Remar is still making movies. I have a friend of mine. He golfs a lot, and he's like, the one day he's like, dude, I went to a public golf course in LA. I'm like, oh, how was it? He's like, I golfed with James Remar. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, I got paired up with him. I never finished The Big Chill. I never could get through it. Highway to Heaven. That's a show they need to remake, is Highway to Heaven. You know, Michael Landon was so dedicated to that role that he actually became an angel. Georgie she doesn't get that joke.
Oh no, I get it. I'm eating.
Okay.
I looked up and I was like, wow.
Hill Street Blues was great. Every cop show that you watch today is inspired by Hill Street Blues. Yeah, I do remember the movie Critters. I also remember what was the other movie? The Gate. Was it The Gate? I just remember there were these little troll things, and there was a hole that if you put a thing down, they were reading the things off of a record, a satanic record, and the gate would open. And if that's the one I'm thinking of, what's his name was in it, a big actor. Oh, someone's gonna think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Taxi stands up. If you watch old Taxi reruns today, they're still hilarious.
Yep. What was
Old Yeller. Gremlins.
Gremlins. Now that's a movie they need to make into a video game. That would be a great video game where you can play as both Billy and as Gizmo. That would be great.
Goonies. Hey, you guys.
The new Ghostbuster movies are okay. They're just okay. But they did a Ghostbuster game with all the original people, even Harold Ramis before he passed. And that game was perfect. It was great.
What's up, Daniel?
Where the red fern grows.
That was sad.
The Goonies.
Old Yeller made me. Old Yeller was sadder.
Yeah, but they made all these movies about killing your dogs, and I'm like, okay, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna. So this is a story. Do you guys remember? A lot of you probably read the book, but they made the movie several years ago of Mice and Men, and it was mandatory reading for us. I think in 8th grade, and I was in high school and I read it, and then my brother he had read it, and I remember it was a snow day, and we could actually walk. There was a theater, like it was probably like half a mile from our house, and we could walk there, especially if we cut through houses. And we decided we're like, yeah, it's a snow day. We're gonna go to the movies, and we're looking through, and we're like, okay, well, Mice and Men, that was a good book. Let's go see it. So we go, and have you guys watched of Mice and Men with John Malkovich and what's his name, Lieutenant Dan. So, okay, I'm gonna
Lieutenant
get
Dan is Forrest Gump.
what's that?
Lieutenant Dan is Forrest Gump.
Yeah, but the character, the guy that plays Lieutenant Dan, he's in it. He
Oh,
plays Lenny, and John Malkovich plays George. So if you want spoilers, cover your ears now. So at the end of the movie, George or Lenny shoots George, and what's funny is he's telling George, "Oh, look that way," and he shoots him in the back of the head. And what's funny is like we're there, we're in the theater, it's like half full. It's there's not like a ton of people, but there's people there, and he shoots him, and he's just like, "Ooh," and falls down. And me and my brother start laughing hysterically. It was the funniest shit to us, and this is everybody else in the theater. Looking back, people are in the back laughing hysterically. We're like, ah!
What movie?
Of Mice and Men.
Yeah,
It was
that's
just
an
hilarious.
oldie. That's an oldie.
It was just hilarious. Yeah, Gary Sinise is his name. And oh my god, we laughed so hard. Just that everyone looked at us made it funnier.
We were sitting
Derek-
there talking about scary movies earlier, and I just came to me when you were talking about the dogs getting killed. Cujo.
oh, God.
Oh yeah.
That scared the piss out of me.
And St. Bernards are such good dogs.
They
Mm-hmm.
really are.
The original Police Academy holds up. If you watch that, it's still hilarious.
Yep.
And it's where I got this. The Blue Oyster Bar. And what's funny is I can like look at Marines and be like, "Hey, what'd you guys do this weekend?" "Oh, nothing." "Oh, did you hang out at the Blue Oyster Bar?" My buddy that I work with, I'll just start cracking up, and they're like, "No, is that a new bar in town?" Oh,
There's just a lot of old movies that really take me back.
the problem is they always want to remake stuff that's great, and you can't make it better. What they should do is make things that were okay, but still have nostalgia. I'm trying to think what
I think
like
a lot of the old sci-fi movies really influenced a lot of the technology as we grew in technology. Like Star Trek, just think about it. Their old communicators, just old flip phone. And that came out in the 70s, didn't it? The original Star Trek?
60s. Yeah, that came
Was it the
that was
60s?
I believe it was 67 to 69 because what's her name was going to quit, but Martin Luther King talked her out of it and told her, "No, we need strong black characters on TV." So she stayed on.
Yeah, just look at all the stuff they had in that movie that now is reality or
Oh yeah.
was reality, like the flip phones and the notepads and all that stuff. I think a lot of those sci-fi movies back there influenced a lot of kids, and that's why we're at. That's why we're at where we are now. Because all them nerds in the 70s and 80s that grew up went to MIT, and next thing you know, we've got stronger, faster computers within a 10-year span.
Yep. Oh, V. Yeah, V they should absolutely redo.
All right, yeah. Didn't they do a remake of that?
They did, but they didn't finish it. And they should just like they should
Christine.
make that into a movie series, to be honest, not a TV movie.
Christine was another scary movie.
It wasn't scary.
That one didn't bother me.
Maximum Overdrive.
The Shining was scary.
Yes.
I don't know. Blair Witch had it for me. That freak down in the basement standing in the corner rocking back and forth. You gonna tell me that didn't send chills up your spine?
No.
I thought The Ring was freaky.
I think The Ring was what you were talking about a while ago, weren't it, Mike? Where they lowered something down in the hole.
No, that was called like The Gate, and it had the one guy. His daughter's in Stranger Things now, not Jude Law, but he was a really young actor. I'm trying to think of like nostalgic movies that you could make that would be better if you remade them. Poltergeist was scary. Oh yeah.
I don't think they could do better with Breakfast Club. I don't think they could do anything better than that. Nope.
No. Poltergeist, no, you can't remake that and make it better. Howard the Duck, they could absolutely make better. If you want to laugh, watch the old Howard the Duck and just sit there and think this is a Marvel movie.
That movie was hilarious. I mean,
it was made by George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
It was so stupid. It was funny.
Oh yeah, and it had great people. It had what's his name? The guy that was arrested for pedophilia, Jeffrey Jones. What's the girl's name that was in it? Leah Thompson. Robbins. What was his name? I want to say Eric Robbins, but that's not it. He was married or is married to Susan Sarandon. What is his name? But he was in it. But yeah, that one you could absolutely remake.
Mikey, Maggie Angel's calling you out there, brother. She's done posted it twice.
Me and Oyster Club, yeah. I'll even say that one.
Read the comment, Mike.
Who did?
Yeah, I did. Marvel is planning. Yeah, I figured they would because Howard the Duck is a pretty popular character. But yeah, that one they could absolutely make better. Jennifer Grey, she was in Dirty Dancing and what's the one about the kids fighting the Nazis?
She played Baby.
Let's see. Oh, here's a movie that I love that they can't remake is Clue. Clue is such a funny movie. I can watch that today.
My ex-wife loved that movie. I was always a sci-fi nut.
I always like sci-fi.
Oh, and let's not forget, I don't think they could even come close to the original Platoon movie.
I watched Lady Hawk for the first time. I didn't find it that good, even though they were like, "Oh, this is great." And yeah, I just didn't think it was that good. Even though I'm into those type of movies. I think they should make a sequel to Sophie's Choice. Georgie, you get that joke?
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said they should make a sequel to Sophie's Choice.
I don't get it.
Sophie's Choice, it's this movie about this guy and he's in an abusive relationship with his girlfriend. Well, it turns out she was a Holocaust survivor. And the whole reason she's got PTSD is because she had 2 kids and they made her choose between the kids.
Wow.
So if you made a sequel, that one.
Yeah, they've got it. They do have a remake of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
They do.
Yeah.
That was a 90s show, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a movie show. You can't redo that. Not as good.
They redid that 70s show.
Yeah. They did pretty decent job with that because they brought back kids of the original actors.
Yeah.
I don't think it lasted though. Would they get 2 seasons out of it maybe?
I have no
This would
idea.
be a really good movie that you could remake. Remember The Money Pit?
Yep.
That, like, you could absolutely do that today. Absolutely. Probably even more. It would probably be funnier today.
Who remembers old Sharon Stone? What was that? Basic Instinct?
Yeah. Uh, that movie really was not that good.
It wasn't that good, but she was one of the first female actors that bared it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On
That's the only reason to see her snatch is the only reason to watch that movie.
Wow.
Tremors. Tremors was an old B-rated movie. They made a lot of those too.
Oh, now here's a movie that I love, Gung Ho.
Sounds
I
familiar.
If that's on TV, it's Michael Keaton and a Japanese car company comes into a Pennsylvania town, and like the town was dying and saves the town, and it's all about the culture. And it's actually a Ron Howard movie. So funny. If that's on TV, I stop and watch it. It's one of those. Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, I was never into that. Tremors. Tremors is great for what it is. But yeah,
So who liked the reboot of Roadhouse?
I didn't. But Gung Ho, uh, this is Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes, and he's speaking in Japanese. A bleep, a bleep, a bleep. Oh, that's all, folks. Okay, no. Here's a movie you could absolutely remake. Wildcats with Goldie Hawn as the football coach.
Yep.
You can remake that movie today.
Boy, her and Kurt Russell, they were a team now.
That movie still has things that you can laugh at.
Goldie Hawn did a lot of good movies.
Yeah, they always want to redo all these movies that.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but that one's too good.
They already remade it.
Well, yeah, but well, they did a sequel. They didn't remake it.
Same thing.
Oh, here's one they'll never remake: Song of the South. Peggy Sue Got Married. That movie sucked. My favorite Nick Cage movie, Raising Arizona. And I don't think you could remake that, but I think you could do something quirky like that. some of these I'm looking through. I'm like, I don't remember these. Crimes of the Heart. Don't remember it one bit. They took the movie and the book Presumed Innocent, and they now turned it into a show. And I started watching it. I haven't finished it yet. I got a couple episodes in, but I think that'll do good as a show. Even though I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, you're mentioning The Rock. I have a question for you guys. Is The Rock a James Bond movie? What do you think, Coop?
What's that?
The movie The Rock?
What about it? That's Sean Connery. That's my man.
Is that a James Bond movie?
No.
It's not?
No, it's where they escaped from Alcatraz.
Yeah. But if you remember, he was a British spy. Abandoned by the British government.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with it. I'm not sure on that, but yeah, I could see where that could be.
And the year he was imprisoned was the year after he did his last James Bond film.
Wasn't that Nicolas Cage in that movie with him?
Yes, it was.
That was a good movie.
Gone in 60 Seconds and Fast and the Furious are not the same movie.
No. Gone
Although both lead actors were fine as hell.
They were both remakes. Yeah, they were both remakes. Batman Beyond. They talked about doing it. I don't know. Maybe. I think depending on how you do it, it could work. The Honeymooners, that's a classic show. I can watch that and still laugh.
Oh, Lucille Ball.
Who are you calling a cootie queen, you lint liquor?
That'll never not make me laugh.
Yep, National Lampoon's Vacation. That was a good one too.
Ooh. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Was that the 80s?
So, someone had the funniest comment. They said, if you redid the TV show My Two Dads, it's a totally different show nowadays.
Slug, go play in traffic.
Oh, here's a movie I haven't seen in a long time. The Secret of My Success. I wonder if that's still funny.
Ooh. Smokey and the Bandit. Yes.
Moonstruck. I saw that once. I haven't watched it ever again. The original Revenge of the Nerds is still funny. The sequels don't hold up. I don't know if they even held up back then. What was the John Travolta movie about the country western? I feel like an idiot for not thinking of it. Urban Cowboy. That was a good one. Can't remake that one. Georgie loves crunchy toes.
Go play in traffic.
I think I'm gonna wrap things up for the night, unless you guys got something. I'm running out of energy.
I'm going cross-eyed. I had to go get a damn A&W.
No,
I never drink soda this late at work at night. The coffee just wasn't working.
I got ink for my fountain pen.
Dirty Dancing. Yes.
Smokey and the Crotch Rocket. You lip-licking cootie queen. Emotional damage.
Hey, Eric.
Eric, what's happening, brother? Why are you beating on the wall over there, girl?
That's not me.
It's the thing shaking because I'm writing.
It looked like we were doing another motion.
You know you go blind doing that.
I like this pen. Nice little fountain pen.
I was always scared I would rip the paper. Yeah, by pushing too hard.
When I was very young in school, like first and second grade, we had the chance to take this art class, and I got really into calligraphy. And that was right when we were learning like cursive and stuff, and I was pretty good at it, and I just never kept it up.
There you go. Turn your camera down, and you can start doing live streams, writing calligraphy.
I'd have to practice. I have not done that. I think it was like third and fourth grade, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Didn't I hear correctly that they're not even teaching cursive in school anymore?
They are not. My son
Wow.
can
Mighty Mouse.
But that's because I made him. Like after he got to a certain point, I was like, okay, I'm going to teach you cursive.
My kids both learned it when they were in school. But then again, they were in rural Missouri, America. So they had good teachers. I can imagine if they grew up in Florida, I don't think that they would have learned cursive.
Kids don't know Woody Woodpecker.
Who don't know Woody Woodpecker?
Woody Woodpecker.
The kids.
What kids?
The kids today.
If they don't know Woody, they damn sure don't know Steamboat Willie.
Oh, they definitely don't.
My kids know who Woody Woodpecker is.
They know who Steamboat Willie is?
No.
No?
I don't know.
Do you know who Steamboat Willie is?
Possibly.
Who?
I said possibly.
Well, tell us who. You have a guess, don't you?
Now who's the owl?
Who?
On another
Grease.
Charles Bronson movie I got to watch. 10 to Midnight.
Bye-bye.
Steamboat Willie was the original Mickey Mouse. The old black and white Mickey Mouse cartoons with Mickey and Minnie when he was the steamboat captain. That was the original Mickey Mouse. Now do you know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you've seen the old black and white pictures of Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, it just took me a minute to remember.
Ooh, here's a movie I got to watch with Robert Duvall, Tender Mercies, where he's a country music singer.
Oh, you can't beat Lonesome Dove with Duvall. You had Duvall and you had Schroeder. You
Couldn't
had
get-
Glover. Huh?
I tried watching it and I couldn't get through it.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I remember watching that on TV when it first came out. My dad was a nut for them old westerns, boy. Who's turning into an owl? I'm not
Woo!
That's Georgie, this the hootie owl.
I didn't say who though. You did.
Who did? Oh my.
Okay. I'm gonna Coop.
Yo.
Do you remember the movie Tootsie, right?
Right.
Do you remember what's his name? Murray.
Bill
being in it?
Murray?
Bill Murray, yeah. Playing a straight man.
Green Mile. Yes. My dad loved that movie.
I'm waiting, Mike.
Yeah, do you
Oh,
remember
you
Bill
just
Murray? A lot of
okay.
people living in it.
Bill Murray, he's done a lot of good movies and he's done a lot of shitty movies too. Stripes was awesome. I liked Stripes. I thought that was funny. That's a fact, Jack.
That's funny, but not be like he's got some funny parts in it, but John Candy and John Larroquette in that movie
Oh yes.
are insanely funny.
Oh yes.
Insanely funny. Like the scenes where they're in it together, I'll die laughing.
Well, see, back then it's like the actors backed each other up, and they just made each one of them funnier being together than they were apart.
And it wasn't like they were trying to one up each other. They were trying to like make the scene funnier.
Right.
But nowadays you got guys like Jack Black who, you know,
I watch his stuff, but I never have really liked him. I mean, to me, it's like he's forcing himself to act. That's how I've always looked at Jack Black.
Jack Black sucks.
I'll agree with you, but not for the reasons you think he sucks. I don't care if he's a liberal or not. I just don't like him.
I'll always remember like where Family Guy where Stewie's up on the roof and he's like, "What is this, an interview?" And goes, Brian's like, "Well, maybe it is an interview. Tell us about your new movie." And he's like, "Yeah, with Jack Black, you're just trying to keep up. You can't really get one over on him." And he's like, "Okay, we'll be back after a commercial break," and walks away. And it's like starting to rain, and what's his name? Michael J. Fox comes in. He's like, "Stewie." He's got the DeLorean. "I got to tell you about your future." And he's like, "No, Michael, I've got to tell you about your future."
Now I know this isn't an '80s movie, but it is. I did like it, and that was Silent Bob and Jay.
Yes.
Oh, they're funny.
They were funny.
The toy. Oh, I loved that movie as a kid.
When
Loved
Jay
that.
played the part where he was posing as put the lotion in the basket guy.
Mhm.
Silence of the Lambs. That is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And people who don't think it's a comedy, I'm like, you just haven't watched it right. That movie is hilarious.
I like the plot behind it. It kept me on my seat trying to figure it out the whole time. It's pretty awesome.
What did he do to you, Miss Starling? Did he touch you? Did he pull you behind the barn? No, he was a good and decent man, sir.
Doc
Okay,
Hollywood's an old one too.
Doc Hollywood is the same plot as Cars.
Dirty Old Men. That was good. What? I think it was the late 80s. It was Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez playing Garbage Men. What was the name of that movie?
Oh, Men at Work.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That has its moments. I rewatched that. I'm trying to think, what was the name of the movie of George C. Scott where he thinks his daughter not ran away, but thinks she got kidnapped, and it turns out she ran away from home to join porn, and he ends up in a porno theater watching his daughter on screen, and he's like, "Turn it off, turn it off."
Any which way you can. Yeah, that's Clint Eastwood and the ape. I think Any Which Way But Loose was the first one, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And then Any Which Way You Can came out second.
Eddie Rabbit did the theme song to Any Which Way But Loose. And I love that song, and that one didn't chart like his other hits.
No, and I liked it. I liked it just like you did. I thought it was hilarious.
Hardcore, yes. Daniel's got it. Hardcore. Yeah. Which, they were trying to be serious, but you watch it now, and it's a dad in a sleazy 70s porno theater watching his daughter. I'm sorry. I have the most fucked up sense of humor.
The 80s definitely had it. I mean, yeah, they've had some good stuff since the 80s, but still, you just can't beat the 80s. I guess it's because we just grew up during that time.
Do you guys remember the show Fernwood Tonight?
I don't.
It was Martin Mull and what was the other guy? I'm trying to think of his name, but some really great actors, really funny guys, and it was supposed to be on the fictional suburb of Fernwood, Ohio, outside of Cincinnati. And I found it just a couple years ago, reruns that are on YouTube, and I laughed hysterically.
Oh, the original Aliens with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. That was a great movie all around.
That was a nail biter right there. I mean, it was. I don't care who you are. That was a scary movie. The first time that damn critter jumped out of that chest. Oh, there was another one that came out before that. It took place up in Antarctica, I think.
The Thing.
Or The Thing, yes.
Yep. That one they did a prequel of a few years ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because if you remember, it starts off the dog is running, and there's two guys trying to shoot it, and they end up shooting the guys and bringing the dog in, and the dog is the thing. Yeah, they did a prequel where it's about those two Swedish guys and like their whole thing and how they are trying to kill it, and it ends with the opening scene to the thing.
Did Space Cowboys come out in the 80s? I thought that was the early 90s.
I'll have to look. In my hometown, there was still up until 2008, there was still an old porno theater still operating. I wonder if that's still open. Though people don't realize today, like what a pleasure it is to just have porn on your phone and you don't have to go to a sleazy theater.
Here, let me grab my phone. I'll call Pee Wee Herman. We can ask him.
Well, he's dead now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What did he finally pass away with? Was it the HIV or did he just old age?
no, I think it was heart failure.
Heart failure?
Mhm.
Boy, when all that came out about him, that poor guy's career trying to be a kids entertainer just died.
Like I love watching those old 70s New York movies where they show Times Square and it's like old porno theaters. That was all of Times Square. People don't realize like these young kids don't real like they're like, oh, Times Square, and it's like all this tourist stuff. It's like, oh, that used to be like that was where all the hookers were.
Well, that's like down here, Del Mabry, Nebraska Avenue over in Tampa. That's your prostitute row there.
Here's a movie you could remake: Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
I think they got one remaking it.
Are they?
I think they do. If I'm not mistaken, I think I think they've got one coming out.
That was before what's his name destroyed his face with plastic surgery.
Yep, it's going to have what's his name?
Don Johnson.
Nope, Jason Momoa
Okay.
is playing Tom Hardy, and
Jason Momoa.
yeah, Momoa. He's playing. Well, Jason
man is
Momoa
so
and
fine.
Tom Hardy are playing the original.
That can work. Jason Momoa lives one town next to me.
He's so pretty.
He just bought a ranch a little bit further away, but people like he grew up out here, so people see him all the time.
Get his autograph for me.
The original was Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson.
Yep. You know who else lives out near me now is Cheech Marin.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he bought a place right up next to Joshua Tree Park.
Oh, when I was 17, 18, Cheech and Chong were my heroes.
They were out here filming something, and people thought it was a new Cheech and Chong movie.
Boy, the time has not done good for Mickey Rourke. Boy, he's looking pretty. But he always did look pretty rough.
Well, he became a boxer and got his face all smashed up because he wasn't a very good boxer, and then he then started getting plastic surgery.
Speaking of people looking rough, did y'all notice Billy Ray's
Who?
experience? Billy Ray Cyrus's act at the inauguration ball?
No, I didn't.
He was drunk, wasn't he?
He was gone, son.
I did stumble
He's
across
a heroin addict.
I did stumble across an old clip of him singing, and Miley was just a little girl come out and sang with him on stage when he had his mullet gone and he just had his hair feathered like the old 80s. But
Butterfly Kiss? No, not Butterfly Kisses. Oh,
I hear the name of it. I don't know it.
dang it. It was the song he wrote for her.
But
East LA, a friend of mine, his home is in that movie, and also his home is one of the ones that the house next door is one of the ones in the original Cheech and Chong movie. It was like Cheech's house that they.
there were a lot of pissed off people when Billy Ray, he just shot up stardom overnight just by that one song.
Oh yeah.
Achy Breaky Heart.
Yep.
Yep.
He was a nobody. He came out with that one song, and next thing you know, he was everywhere.
Yep.
Well, he has killed his career by being a heroin addict.
Don't most of them do that?
Sadly. Yeah, I find it funny though. Miley got clean and he went off the rails.
I still don't like Miley. She ruined it for me when she started doing all that racy shit. Half
Yeah.
naked and being nasty on stage. That's when I totally lost all respect for her. And the sad part is she's got a good voice.
Beautiful voice. And she was a child star, like.
Well, she went through that phase as she got older trying to figure out who she was, and she was experimenting with all the different styles. And when she started getting into the really racy stuff, I lost respect for her.
She became an addict. That's where all that weird shit came from that she was doing.
A friend of mine on Twitter, he tried to be an actor, but he wasn't. He had some stuff, but he wasn't very successful. But he was a very successful stuntman in Hollywood. And the biggest thing I know that he was in was the movie Commando. And if you remember the mall scene, he's the cop that gets pushed down the steps and yells, "Hey, lady, stop!" And it's very eye-opening to talk with him about a lot of the movies and stuff. He's got a lot of insight.
Oh, and the remake of Harley Davidson and the Marble Man, it comes out this year.
That could be good because that was an okay movie. It had great parts in it, but yeah, they could definitely improve upon it.
There you go,
I think
Mikey.
we'll wrap this up, guys.
There you go. It's only a minute and 29 seconds.
What is?
What I shared to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
Well, I just put it there. It's the trailer for the Harley Davidson Marble Man. Oh, you're waiting on me. Shit, I forgot.
That's what happens when you put boners together.
The winds have changed, surrendering to a mighty force. But the tides will turn. With family by our side, we will endure. On the dust, we rebuild. On the paths, we dream.
Jason.
On our chariots, we are free.
What about the bar? Find it out.
I don't want any trouble here.
I'll let you leave.
I don't think this is a trailer. I think that's a place stuff together. Yeah, I don't think this is a trailer.
Some people would rather crash
Yeah, that's in that movie.
than slow down.
Wow. Why did they show two movies in that?
Yeah, I don't. I think that was just a fan-made trailer.
Because that's two different movies.
Yeah, I don't think that's really it. But
Tom Hardy is playing in that movie with Jason, though.
But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
All right, bud. Thanks for having us on, chat. You've been wonderful.
Yep. You all Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. And as usual, thank you for being worth serving.